But let's be honest, it takes a lot of skill and talent to go any lower than he already is. EDP445 is a menace to society, and I don't think it takes a genius to see that. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, then now's as good a time as any to throw you into the loop. Basically, EDP445 was a very popular YouTuber who unfortunately went to the dark side of the force and began to make very questionable decisions. When I say this, EDP was talking to a minor sexually and even planned on meeting them in person. Case in point, he's a pedo. And he got exposed by another YouTuber. However, really, the actual authorities should have been involved in this entire plot. EDP was left with time to reflect rather than actually being arrested, which could be for better or worse, but then again, he preys on children, so any opportunity for that should be few, far in between. Since he really didn't suffer any real repercussions from the actual authorities, people have took it upon themselves to end up trying to ruin this guy's life. Going to any city he's residing in and making sure that he stays unemployed to a point where he was said to only have $3,300 in his bank account and his 2 cars. Leaving justice to be served in its own way. But why are we back here again after an entire year? Well, this is because EDP once again has been caught talking to minors. Why isn't he in jail yet? I really could not tell you. The only thing this guy even lost would be his online career, and he would spend every single day trying to rebuild it time and time again. And believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds, he's actually rebuilding it because not everyone is going to know what's beneath the surface when it comes to this shady character. He would be attempting to make a comeback with TikTok, which would give him 1 million followers, 11K live viewers, and a sub goal that says, "Let's eat cupcakes." What would be the significance of this sub goal? Well, the first time about a year ago when he did get caught talking to a minor, his excuse was that he was trying to go eat a cupcake.
So what brings you out here today?
Well, I was coming out here to...
Glasses off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
And now he would be trying to make a joke out of his own words, which is pretty disturbing because it could be interpreted as him trying to talk to underage girls. Because he was talking to a minor and instead was saying that he was going to eat a cupcake. And of course, he would make a comeback with TikTok. But I digress because this entire situation would be handled in the hands of life itself. Because after all these problems and all of this craziness, EDP would be diagnosed with stage 5 kidney failure. And apparently, he has less than a month to live. And of course, given all of his antics, people would actually wish and hope that EDP would pass. I personally don't wish death on anyone because I find it to be very cruel. But given the fact that he's a pedophile and that he has had so much time to reflect, it's really hard to say whether or not he deserves mercy anymore because looking at his profile, he just seems to be making fun of the entire situation, saying things like, if you are 18, you are too old for me, or let's set this shit straight, she wasn't 13, she was 14. And it comes to a point where I just can't even feel bad for you anymore, man. And it's just really sad and pathetic to look at. Going on with, admit it, the younger the better. I really just can't believe this guy at all. EDP would even post himself eating cupcakes, insinuating, the possibility of what would have happened if he would have successfully gotten with any one of these minors. He's really just trolling the entire situation. If it isn't jail time, it's stage 5 kidney failure, so it's really not looking good for EDP in the slightest. I'm really just blown away at how long this has been going on. And I'm sure there are definitely a lot more cases than the one that was addressed a year ago. So more often than not, EDP is actually a lot more down bad than any of us would have really thought. And considering every single thing that he's saying on Twitter at this moment, he really just looks like a crazy person, and I don't know what his true goal is behind doing all of this. With a rough guess, it's really looking like a cry for attention, and it seems like EDP is doing everything in his power to just annoy and get a rise out of everyone as much as possible because they did the same exact thing to him. Because after all, they did keep him unemployed for years and troll him for a pretty long time. But let's be honest, it takes a lot of skill and talent to go any lower than he already is. Really, this is just making things look really worse off in his end. As horrible as it sounds or to even think about, people are going to be celebrating his passing, as much as I hate to say it. I can understand why. I don't like, people grooming children either, let alone even attempting to. But I don't think anyone should stoop to his level or even lower by celebrating the death of a pedophile. Everyone should just let it be and go on with their lives. He honestly just needs to be put in a cell and be humbled for a couple of years. Because right now he is really showing that he did anything but humble himself or make any attempt to change. And that speaks immense volumes to his own character. It's really disappointing because even after getting the opportunity to change, he did nothing with it and went back to make the same exact mistake that got him screwed over in the first place. Why would you dare touch the oven again right after it burned you? But really, I'm glad he did, because guess what? Someone who did nasty things is just going to end up facing the consequences, whether we like it or he likes it or not. But I do think people should have a little bit more heart and shouldn't be so heinous as to wishing death on another person. But I'm not going to morally dig into anyone for their own opinions, because a part of me also does agree that maybe certain punishments should be dealt no matter how extreme. But I will say most of everybody's feelings should be detached and he should be just left alone to face his own consequences, whether it's in jail or with the kidney failure. Whether any of those things are deserved, only time can let us tell. All I know is he's had multiple opportunities and he really needs to stop talking to children. Get this freak out of your daughter's DMs as soon as possible.